I filmed a video like this for my 5 and 6 year anniversary of journaling, so I was like, I need to do it again for 7 years. It just feels like a little tradition now, and I wanted to just talk about probably the biggest thing I've learned from journaling. And obviously we all know that it can just totally transform who you are, and for me especially, like, I can attest to that. Like, it has just truly evolved me in so many ways and who I am. But I feel like all of the benefits that journaling has kind of falls under this one single umbrella lesson, or not even lesson, just like benefit, I guess. And so I'll just like cut to the chase. I think that the biggest thing that journaling has helped me with and improved for me in my life is that it has strengthened my relationship with myself. And I feel like I could talk about this in so many different ways. There's a lot of layers to it, but your relationship with yourself is so important. And I feel like a lot of us don't really fully know who we are. I feel like I've heard a lot of talk nowadays of people not knowing who they are and figuring out what kind of person they want to become, and obviously I'm still figuring that out for myself. I'm about to be 22. I still have a lot of life ahead of me, God willing, and so obviously I have a lot to learn about myself, a lot to figure out with the trajectory that I want to take my life in. But I feel like journaling every single day for 7 years, and just in general journaling since I was 6 years old, so for over 15 years now, it's really helped me maintain my identity, my sense of self, because I have like a written documentation of my growth. I'm able to track my growth and form a relationship with myself. If you're meeting a new person, whether it's a love interest or a friend or somebody, or even just getting closer to someone in your family, what are you gonna do to strengthen your relationship with them? You're gonna spend time with them. You're going to ask questions. You're going to learn more about them, learn what makes them laugh, learn what makes them happy, what makes them sad, and just spend time with them. And so in order to know yourself, spending time with yourself is so important. And I feel like with how many distractions we have in today's world, and also just how prevalent hustle culture is, I feel like a lot of people don't take the time to spend time with just themselves. And when they do spend time with themselves and are alone, they're just scrolling on their phone. And like, hey, I'm guilty of it too. It's really easy to just scroll on your phone when you have a free second, just to like turn your brain off and scroll. That's really nice sometimes. But if you're always doing that in your alone time and you're not spending active time with yourself, it's so easy to just like lose yourself in the busyness of the day. Or even if your day's not busy, it's so easy to just lose yourself in the distraction of your phone, or sleeping the day away, or any other like coping mechanism to not face who you are. Not even necessarily a coping mechanism. I feel like that's kind of putting a negative connotation on it, but I just feel like spending active time with yourself can just strengthen your sense of identity so much, whether it's journaling and taking time to write about what you're happy about, write about what you're sad about, asking yourself questions and diving deeper into what's most important to you. But like, there are other ways to spend time with yourself too. You can just have a quiet little cup of coffee in the morning, wake up early with like no other things around you. You can take yourself out to lunch or something and just go on a little solo date, or work on some artwork, do a fun hobby of yours. I feel like doing things independently though is really important. As an extrovert, I love having somebody keeping me company. Even when I'm just like sitting and doing my homework, a lot of times I'll like FaceTime my mom or a friend to just like sit on FaceTime with me, just because I like enjoy having people's company. But also I feel like it's so important to have times where it's just me, because your mind operates so differently when you are just by yourself. And so having those times to journal and spend that time with yourself is so rich. It's just so beneficial to figuring out who you are. Also, on that same note, because I have that like written day-to-day of everything in my life over the past 7 years, it's really hard for me to lose myself. I don't think I've ever really felt truly lost, because it's always been here on these pages. And that's not to say that I've never had like a difficult time in my life where I didn't know where I was going or what to do with my life, whatever. I definitely have had those moments where I'm just trying to figure that out, but I've always known myself. It's always been there. And even if I am wanting to improve on things about me, I feel like it's much easier when it's highlighted in these pages, so I'm able to pinpoint where my thoughts are at and identify what improvements I want to make. And the process process of knowing yourself like that, spending time with yourself, building that relationship with yourself has ultimately been what's led me to have a stronger self-confidence, knowing what I want with my life, staying organized. I feel like all of the benefits that journaling comes with has ultimately like fallen down from that big umbrella term of having a relationship with yourself. I feel like I could talk about this for a while, especially with the distractions that we have in our modern day society. And again, like it's something I struggle with too, with the distractions, like your phone especially, but even just I think about with music. I think music is great. I am not bashing music at all, but also a lot of people have told me like they can't do anything without listening to music, like studying, making dinner, like they always need to have some sort of music or noise playing in the shower, whatever, just because they need some sort of stimulation. And I don't think there's anything wrong with making your breakfast to music in the morning, but if it's something that you need to rely on, that just like scares me when I feel like I'm always grabbing my phone for a distraction, or even not like consciously grabbing it for a distraction. If I just am finding myself like picking up my phone whenever and I'm just like, whoa, I can't stop picking up my phone. Like that just is scary to me. And I feel like it's becoming so prevalent for us to have all of these distractions, and they're distracting us from knowing who we are. And I feel like that's why we're having so many like crises in this generation of not knowing who we are, because we aren't given the time to get to know ourselves. We're not putting in that work, that self-work of knowing our values, our morals, and then even if you do know that, it's like our motivation and discipline to then achieve those things just isn't there. We don't have the patience to do it because we're just being distracted. I feel like it all makes sense in my brain, but then like verbalizing it is kind of hard because I haven't fully like sorted out exactly how I wanted to say it. I just think there's something so special having your life written down. You can go back, it's like a catalog of my life, of who I am, how I've grown, and I've learned about myself along the way. And there's a lot of stuff in there that I am not proud of because I wrote some cringy journal entries, as you guys know from my Reading My Diary series. And obviously there are things in my life that I like regret, or I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that, whatever. There are versions of myself that I am glad to have grown from, and I'm sure I'll probably look back at this point in my life at some point and be like, dang, I can't believe I used to do X, Y, or Z. I don't know. But like, I feel like I'm able to look at that with a lot of grace and peace because I have the growth process written down as well. The memories written down is just an invaluable thing. There are so many wonderful things that I'm able to look back and reflect on. And just the process of spending time with yourself and physically writing out your thoughts and your feelings and your ideas and your day, all those things. The action of spending time with yourself in order to process those things and work through everything that you have on your mind, it's just truly life-changing. I don't mean to say that in like a, oh my gosh, journaling is gonna change your life kind of way, which like, let's be real, I do think it will if you give it a chance. I know I'm biased. And don't even get me started on the aspect of like slowing down to write and how quick our minds are moving. That kind of goes back to the distraction stuff. I actually made a video on that where it was like, watch this if journaling is too slow for you. I just feel so passionate about it. Anyway, 7 years, that's crazy. I'm 21 now, almost 22, so that's like a third of my life written down like every single day. That's crazy. I could flip to any day in the past 7 years and be like, oh my gosh, that's what I was doing on April 24th, 2019. You know, it's something I'm really proud of. It's probably like my biggest accomplishment, and honestly it's like a big part of my personality. At this point I'm like, yeah, I've been journaling forever. Journaling is my biggest personality trait, I'd say. I literally have a business about journaling. It's so special. 7 years. Wow. Wow. If I continue making this video every year, like if I make this next year for my 8 years of journaling, let me know what you guys want to see or talk about in that video, because I don't want this to become repetitive if every year I'm just like, okay, it's year number 8, year 9, year 10. Year 10 will be cool. 10 years of journaling every single day. That's wild to think about. Also, what's crazy is that I had only been journaling for like 2.5 years when I started my YouTube channel. That means that the majority of the time that I've been daily journaling, I've had my YouTube channel, which is just wild. To just give you an idea of how much I've grown up since then, even in the past 4.5 years of my YouTube channel, you can literally go back and scroll to my first videos and be like, oh my gosh, I really don't like watching some of my first post videos. But if you do, just like imagine getting from that point to where I am now, how much I've aged since then, and remembering that I've literally been journaling since then, and even before then, like 2.5 years prior to that, and that I've consistently journaled every day from point A to point B. Having a visual of that and seeing how much I've like looked different and I've grown and just changed, it's just wild. It's crazy. Moral of the story, I think you should journal if you haven't started already. Oh my gosh, is my makeup like smudging? I hope my makeup wasn't like that the whole video. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing new year, and yeah, I'm just excited to see how this year goes. Also, what's crazy is that I was supposed to be graduating college this year. That's wild, but I'm graduating a year late, so I won't be. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye guys.